Prep Test 69, game number 4. In this game, we have 5 paralegals named F, G, H, K, and L being assigned to 3 different cases, R, S, and T. And the game tells us that at least one person is assigned to each case, but it doesn't tell us anything more than that. So we have a typical floating grouping game where we can place at least one blank in each of our cases, but that's it. We don't know anything about where the rest of the blanks go. So we can dive right into the rules. The first rule tells us that either Frank is in the Rames case and Kevin is in the Thompson case, or Frank is not in Rames and Kevin is not in Thompson. So a big rule tells us quite a lot of information, and you can probably already sense that we have some good limited options built around that rule. But let's move on to the others. The next rule tells us that Frank is alone. He's the only paralegal assigned to his case. Or G is alone. But it also specifies that they can't both be alone. So again, an exclusive or here. And then the final rule tells us that hero H is assigned to the S case. Boom. So what we know, limited options wise, is that we have the option where F and K are assigned to R and T, and the option where neither of them, F and K, are not assigned to R and T. And it's also worth it to look at the numbers here. We know that there's at least one person per case, but we have a total of 5. So that means that we could either have 2, 2, and 1 by spreading those last 2 people out, or we could put them both in the same case and we could have 3, 1, and 1. Not in this particular order, but that's the only way that the numbers can work out. So let's go ahead and set up our limited options in this game and see where that gets us. So in our first one, we're going to have F in the R case and K in the T case. And if that's the way things work out, remember that in combination with the rule that F or G has to be alone, the only possibility is for F to be alone, and then for G and L to go somewhere in these other 2 bins. But remember our limited options over here, it doesn't necessarily have to be G here and L here or vice versa. We could actually have both of them in one case and none of them in the other case. So there are still options left within this scenario. In our second limited option, we have decided that F is not in R, because we're going with this rule, and K is not in T. That doesn't really tell us anything more, because we know that F or G needs to be alone, but they could be alone. F could be alone over here, G could be alone over here, G could be alone over here. There's too many unknowns in this situation to build anything further into this graph or into this diagram, and so we stop right there and we head into the questions.